Hello, everybody.
Hi. Think I'm gonna post a little put this in
Remind
the Discord,
mm,
little announcement, if you will.
How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday? I don't think we've ever done a live on a
No.
Tuesday. Something
Never.
fresh, something fun, funky,
Fun, funky, and fresh.
3 Fs.
Feels weird though. I will say it does not feel like a Tuesday.
I know. I woke up this morning. Honestly, I had forgotten about it, and then I woke up this morning, like a couple hours ago. I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's this morning."
Yeah, my schedule is to blame, so
Come on, Cass. You're ruining
nothing
it for everybody.
nothing I can do about it. Listen.
I'm kidding. Partially. No, I'm kidding.
Even though technically, I guess I could have done it Sunday, but there was always a chance I was going to get called into work.
Could you
Because I was
imagine
technically working, but not working. It's a whole thing.
in the middle of the live, you're actually, guys, I gotta go.
Oh, crew services? Is that you? Gotta go.
Bye.
Yeah, I just don't want to ever say, oh, it's going to be this day. And then, surprise!
It's not that day.
Yeah. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, Katie?
I think I've been better, but I'm still pretty good. What about you?
Pretty good. I have one more week until I move all my stuff down here to Florida. So I'm almost there.
So close.
So close. So close.
The bookshelves are almost back up.
So close. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. That's like the thing I'm most excited about is putting my bookshelves back up. And I know I've been talking about it so long. Like every single vlog, I'm like, I miss my bookshelves. But it's truth.
It's straight truth. Straight facts.
Absolutely. We usually chat for about 5-10 minutes to allow people to kind of join up, and then we will start discussing A Torch Against the Night.
How are you enjoying being a flight attendant so far, Cass, and all those flights you've gone on?
All the flights I've gone on. So I have gone on technically only one flight, and that was like my final test. It was working a real flight. But since then, I'm on call. So I either sit at the airport and wait to be called or sit at home and wait to be called. They haven't called me. I think they've called nearly every single one of my classmates except for like me and one of my friends. And we're just like,
disrespectful.
Ring, ring, where are you? I know that's not how I'll feel in perhaps a couple weeks when I get sick of flying. Hopefully not a couple weeks. But
it's like next week. You're like, actually, I've had enough.
But it's been good so far. I haven't really done anything. I think I like it.
Yeah.
But I'll get back to you on that. Oh my goodness. I'm obsessed with Katie's lighting too. The lighting.
I appreciate that. I put a lot of thought into the lighting. AKA, got this window in front of me. Got these bookshelves behind me. But thank you.
I'm gonna put lights on my bookshelf this go around. I think it needs it. Add a little bit of depth,
I feel like bookshelves are always improved with a bit of lighting on them,
Absolutely.
A little extra, little something.
Little something.
Little something,
Little something. My goodness. We will be sure to announce when we do start discussing spoilers. That way, anyone that's here just to chitter chatter for a couple minutes can not get spoiled.
But thank you for coming to the live for a little bit, even if you haven't finished the book.
What a gem. What a treat.
There we go.
Have you read anything good lately, Katie?
I haven't really read much of anything recently, to be honest. I feel like I'm in a bit of a reading slump.
Not the reading slump.
I just don't feel like reading anything right now. I'm always like, what if I went and did something else instead? I have a video that I'm supposed to be doing for my Patreon that's supposed to be posted by the end of this week, and I still need to read 2 more books for it.
Oof.
And I'm just like, I don't want to read right now, but like I gotta film the video.
Those taxes, they did something to you.
Mm. Fortunately, I'm in class and I didn't finish this book. It's a bad combo.
Thanks for popping in, though, temporarily. Been in a slump since Emily Wilde 2. That book is such a new fave.
I feel like that's the situation that I've been put in because that's the last book I finished, I think.
Really?
Yeah. It's been like a week or two since I finished reading it. I just don't want to read anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I myself am not in a slump.
Nice.
Not to flex on y'all, although I feel like I just didn't have a lot of time to read anything new during flight attendant training, and so being able to like read new books, I'm like, oh my god, we're back! This is great. I love my hobby. So I don't want to say I've been reading a lot, but Elantris was a long one, and I finished that one pretty quickly. So
yeah, I was surprised when you posted on your story that you'd already finished it. I was like, damn, the speed. Yeah, crazy.
Well, I read for like my entire like airport shift, which is like 6 hours of just sitting. So I was able to, quite a lot of time to read. But that was my first 5-star read of the year. So that was exciting.
What have you been reading anything since, aside from A Torch Against the Night?
Nope. My next reading vlog, though, I've decided my TBR. So
share the TBR.
Okay, I will. You twisted my arm, if you insist.
I was gonna say that didn't really seem to be that hard to get you to spill it.
So I want to read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter
and
ASAP by Axio.
Very nice, very nice.
I think that'll be fun. I'll probably throw in another book, but my bookshelves will be set up by then, so I'll have full range access to all my books.
Very nice, very nice.
Someone said, been reading romance books since A Torch Against the Night, needed something lighthearted after that. I feel you. I just finished it last night, and I forgot like how brutal this book is. I was like, we went there. We went there in this YA. We really did.
Yeah, most of the things that happen in this series I was not expecting.
I mean, I've read this before, and I genuinely thought it was more tame than this. Oh my goodness.
My partner has read 4 Cosmere books this month, and I am in shock. Which ones?
Yeah.
Imagine they've read all of the Stormlight books.
Can you imagine in 1 month?
So impressed.
Dang. I want to read Stormlight so soon. It's going to happen.
You gotta do it. I'm so excited to see what you think.
I'm excited to see what I think, too. I probably should hold off on reading Yumi until after Stormlight, but it's fine. I'm going to reread all the Cosmere books eventually anyways, so if I read them like out of order, I'm not too bothered.
And that's how I'm feeling about it, because I feel like every time I go online to be like, when should I read this Brandon Sanderson book, there's just so many people on Reddit being like, no, you need to read it this way, and if you don't read it this way, you're not going to enjoy it. And I'm like, let's calm down.
All the series stand alone, except for the fact that like when there are bits that tie them together,
it's usually not like super
it's not like
super
it's not super important to know other references. It's just like almost like Easter eggs, little treats for those that read it in a correct order.
I feel like a lot of people online get hung up on like reading orders and stuff, and like I definitely do sometimes, but I feel like there's so many debates and like so many different series about like, no, you need to read it this way. I'm like, it's not that deep.
Throne of Glass is one that is like way too.
I'm sick of hearing the debate on Throne of Glass reading order. I'm like, it's not that deep. And my favorite part is that like Sarah J. Maas came out and was like, you should read it this way. And people were still like, no, that's not how you do it.
Brandon Sanderson had a video out too recently. And people were like, no, that's wrong. Like, that's the author.
It's like, let's just let people read things how they want to. Like,
yeah, read what you want. Read what you want. Absolutely. How is Feybound? Someone said I'm reading Feybound. I want to know how that is. I've heard things. I don't know if I want to pick it up, but I've heard things.
I'm gonna read it this month. It's my Patreon buddy read, so
Well,
I'm excited.
love that.
Heard good things, I feel, so far.
I'm always just wary about books that blow up so quickly these days. I'm like, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I think my final straw personally with like, I don't know if that's like a TikTok, like book talk book that blew up, but the one I not recent, well, it was kind of recently. Anyways, I read Icebreaker last month and I hated that book so much. And I lost all faith in like internet book recommendations.
I feel like there are good internet book recommendations. You just need to find the right ones. But I feel like a lot of book talk books that do get like really popular, I feel like people, their expectations are too high for them because they've seen all these people talk about them and love them.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, really.
It is a vicious cycle. Absolutely. All right. It is 11 minutes. I forgot that this was like a discussion and not just like one of our reading sprints. I was like, let's just chat. Let's just catch up.
Let's like talk for an hour and then be silent for an hour.
So let's discuss. I don't have the physical book, but
I do.
Pull up the phone screen. Let's just a torch against the night, shall we? So if you have not finished the book, like I know a couple of y'all have mentioned you have not, if you don't want to get spoiled, this is your chance.
Thank you so much for coming, but leave. No, I'm kidding.
But thank you for your, thanks for chattering with us for a little bit.
A little chit chat. What did we all rate A Torch Against the Night? That's first and foremost.
First and foremost, what is the star rating? What about you, Katie? What did you rate it?
Well, I don't really rate things anymore, so I'd probably, if I was going to rate it, if I could give it a 4.
Like a 4?
Yeah.
I gave it like a solid 4 as well. Yeah. It was good. It was good. 3.5, 3.75, 4, 4.5.
First
4 liked it more than the first book. Okay.
I don't know which out of the two I liked more, honestly.
I kind of like them equal. I think they're strong in 2 different elements.
A lot of 4 stars.
Solid 4. Beautiful. I'm so happy to see that y'all are still enjoying this series. It worries me every book. I'm like, is this the book that people are going to be like, ooh, with the series?
I don't know. I feel like this is like I feel like the series isn't going to do us like that.
I don't think so. From what I remember, I liked it. So hopefully everyone else will. Okay, so solid 4 stars.
Yeah,
love
5 to 4 range. No 5 stars though. Not yet.
This doesn't feel like a 5-star. I feel like it's hopefully the series gets there, you know?
That's what I'm hoping. So I feel like usually series get better as they continue. Sometimes they don't, but maybe this one will.
I feel like this didn't fall into the typical like second book troubles that a lot of authors face. They write their second book and everyone's like, this is nowhere near as good as the first book. I think this was still solid, and I think she had a good plan with like her 4-story book. Yeah. You know, I feel like she definitely set out to write 4 books and planned it that way.
I think it progressed the plot well when like a lot of subsequent books in series just sometimes like nothing happens until like the last 50 or so pages of that next book. And then you're just like, what was the point of this book? But I feel like this book had like a definite thing it was trying to achieve in progressing the series, and it did it well.
Absolutely. A lot of trilogies fall into this could have been a duology moment, but trilogies sell well, I assume.
Yeah, I think so. I like a good duology though, honestly. Just 2 books and you're done.
I mean, Six of Crows, iconic. That needed 2 books and it.
It's just done. Wiping its hands of the situation. Moving on.
Retching it out too much. All right. Moments that shocked me because I have the worst memory when it comes to books that I've already read. Izzy. How dare. How dare. Poor Izzy.
It's been a couple weeks since I've read this book. So I don't know if I remember a ton of things from it, but I remember that did shock me. I think
I genuinely hated how Izzy was finally free and finally like had her own little like romance moment. I'm like, oh my god, they're so cute. I love them. And then
just to tear you down.
just to tear us down.
I wasn't expecting like well, she's not a major character, but like a major side character death so early in the series. That took me by like completely by surprise.
Well, we had side character death and main character death. Did anyone see Elias's death coming?
Oh, I forgot about that too.
You're like, who died?
I was like, no, I think they're both alive. Guys, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I think well, that definitely shocked me, and I don't like how that situation's going, but I think the main thing that shocked me in this book was what's the dude's name? Kieran.
Kieran?
Is his name Kieran?
Is it Kieran or is it Keenan? I think it's Kieran.
Keenan.
Is it Keenan?
I think it's Keenan. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is it Kieran? I could be wrong.
Sorry, I'm just one of those K names. Him turning out to be God, I don't remember what the Night Watcher.
Nightbringer.
Yeah, Nightbringer. Whatever he's called. I wasn't expecting that either.
I do want to say I wasn't expecting it because I remember something. I didn't remember he was, so I wasn't expecting it. But I certainly never trusted him, and I wish there was more of a connection. Like I didn't feel like Laya and Keenan's romance was really like fleshed out and authentic.
Yeah.
So when he did turn out to be the Nightbringer, I was like, oh no, what a surprise. But I wasn't super invested in this character. So I wish that's one of the critiques that I have of this book is I wish that it was more developed and their romance was more impactful so that betrayal hit harder.
See, I think he was definitely acting suspicious throughout the book. And I knew like something was going to happen with him because obviously Lias and Elia are going to be like the main romance in this series. So I was like, what's going to happen with Keenan? That like he's going to like get out of the picture. So I was expecting something, but I just didn't expect him to like not be Keenan.
Absolutely. I love that element though. I thought that was so brilliant. Like what a twist, honestly, with him just betraying like multiple people throughout the years just to get like this star thing that's going to free the Jinn. So I'm stressed, but I'm excited.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of twists and turns in this series, and I think it makes it, I don't want to say fun because I feel like calling the series fun isn't the right word.
Makes you like invested in the plot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm more invested in the plot than the characters. Some of the characters I'm struggling with connecting to, but Helene I love. So when her entire family was murdered, I was like, okay, we're doing that.
I had to put the book down for a moment. I was like, hold on now.
What's
going on there?
That was insane.
I was so sad.
It was like, and to have her like watch, and Marcus is demented. He's a really good villain or antagonist. It's weird though because we have the characters on both sides. Like Helene knows and is gradually understanding like, okay, what he's doing is wrong. But also for the sake of the Empire, she's like duty first.
Yeah.
Even though he, slaughtered her entire family and then got engaged to her younger sister. So, we're going through it.
Just a lot of things happening at the end of this book, man.
Helene is being broken, quite literally.
Yeah, I figured something to this effect was going to happen because I feel like, she's a main character. I feel like you can't have her being normal Helene for the entirety of the series, so something awful was going to have to happen, but man, it was hard to read.
It was quite brutal. Like, Saboteur really goes there in so many scenes, especially like the prison scenes. I feel like a lot of YA books don't delve into like how gruesome it is.
Yeah.
But
this kind of like a new adult kind of series with the way
it kind of does.
It goes about
the brutality.
Yeah.
We had like fade to black scenes, but when it comes to like the brutality aspect, I definitely think it is more NA, or we're just giving. Well, I mean, no, it is quite violent.
I was gonna say
It's no Poppy War, but probably
no. It's the Poppy War.
the Poppy War was something else with the brutality.
Yeah. See, I sympathize with Marcus to an extent, and I love an antagonist I can sympathize with. Yeah, I feel like him murdering his brother in whichever trial that was in the first book, and seeing him have moments of like realizing and remembering like what he did, I think it humanizes him almost in a way that you don't want it to. And I think that's really interesting to add in there as well.
Absolutely. It makes for an antagonist that has motive and like reason behind his actions, and like you can see his own twisted form of justification, especially when he sends Helene out to kill Elias because he wants her to go through what he went through with his brother. And so it's a lot. It's a lot for sure. But I do really love Marcus. He's not just like a cliche villain. He has depth, and he's way more cunning than I think even I gave him credit for, with like the whole, he knew about the coup.
Yeah.
He was keeping it kind of on the down low. He's like, yeah, no shit, I can't trust Karis. You think I don't know this? Like, than you think. And I think it took a minute for us readers to be like, oh, like this is a smart villain. It's not like a cliche villain. And Helene being like, wow, I really did underestimate Marcus.
I just feel like there are it's just a lot of depth to like all of these characters, and I think it's all just done really well.
And it's cool to see they all have different motivations. Like, every single character is doing something for a reason. Like Laia, she wants to save her brother. Elias is helping Laia because they love each other, I guess. And Elias also realizes this is good for like the scholar revolution. And then Helene has her own ties to her family and to the Empire. And then Marcus has his own twisted sense of justification. So each character not just having a very like bland and stale sort of motivation, I think makes them more, having more depth and more intricacy with their actions.
But like all that being said, I still feel like I don't fully connect to these characters. And I don't exactly understand, like, I guess not understand, but like I don't get why I don't like love these characters as much as I do like other characters in other series, because they're all so strong. But I feel like one of the reasons I don't 100% like, I'm not obsessed with this series is because I don't love the characters as much as I could, even though they're all really well developed. Like, I don't know why.
I feel the same. I don't get why. And a lot of reviews, actually, I always love scrolling Goodreads for different reviews after. And a lot of people were saying that they couldn't connect to the characters. And I don't get why either, because like Laia has these moments where she's so human and she makes mistakes and she's going through her grief. And then she pulls herself out of that and makes another mistake. And like she's tackling all these abilities. And it's like that's something that we as people should be able to relate to and connect to.
Yeah.
But I don't see why. Even like the romance falls flat for me, but I don't understand why. I cannot pinpoint it either.
Yeah. I feel like the romance also kind of falls flat a little bit for me too. I like it, and I obviously want them to end up together because why not? But it's just like I'm just not obsessed with it. I don't know. Like there are so many strong elements to this series, but I feel like it's just not strong enough.
It's like almost there.
Yes, it's so close. So I'm hoping maybe as the series progresses, those elements will start to resonate with me more and I'll like it more. But that's not to say I'm not liking it right now, because I think the series is really good, but it's kind of my current thoughts on it as far as the first two books.
Absolutely. What did we think about the soul catcher, that sort of element now coming into play?
Is the soul catcher the thing with the armband?
No, that's the Nightbringer. The soul catcher is what Elias now is. The soul catcher was the one that kept pulling him.
Honestly, I don't like it.
No?
No, I don't know what it is about it, but I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, I get that it's good stuff for the plot, whatever. It definitely adds like something for him to do, I guess. But I don't know. I just don't really enjoy it as a plot element. Like, I don't care because I feel like he's not going to end up actually dying.
Well, I mean, he is technically dead.
Yeah, but I feel like something's gonna happen, and he's not gonna actually like stay that way. That's my hot take, at least.
Well, I mean, Sheva, I think that's her name, Sheva. She explains the element of the Nightbringer, and the Nightbringer now kind of is the core villain, in that his motivation is to free the Jinn in the forest. So I feel like once we learn more about Sheva's backstory and what exactly she did to betray the Nightbringer, then maybe the element will be more interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wasn't obsessed with that.
Fair enough. All right. Lexi says, I think the relationship is probably one of the most underwhelming things for me. I just can't see why they really like each other because it feels too immediate for my tastes.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I wish it was a bit more like dragged out throughout the series, but like they're like making out at the end of this book. I don't know. Things were happening, and I was like, we've got a 4-book series. Let's make this last a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, technically, nothing's really happened though. Like, yes, they made out.
Yeah, but that's still like progressing the relationship in a way.
I guess so. Well, maybe they'll revert back to their old ways of being like, I can, but I can't, but I can't, but I can't. But
well, I just get really annoyed if they do
that. The relationships do feel like a little stale. I did like I think it was Gideon and Izzy. I was like, cute. She deserves it. But I was never like super invested in those either. I just thought it was like little cute. But it definitely felt very like YA instant love. But also the characters, I feel like with Laya and her personality, she is prone to just fall for people quickly. So
yeah, I guess I could see that.
I mean, it was Kanan and then Elias and then Nightbringer, and I'm like, okay, girl, make up your mind.
she's got too many men in her arsenal right now.
I will say it was refreshing though to read like an early YA book that wasn't like a love triangle, yeah. Like a triangle, but with a plot twist. I was like, ooh,
yeah. I was not expecting that. Although I don't know, sometimes I think I've grown to like a love triangle every now and then. And that's my hot take.
It is well executed. I mean, as long as there's no Edward Jacob Bella situation, I'm fine.
Okay, nobody's saying that's a good love triangle.
So I like the soul catcher, but it was used as a plot device to kill off Elias and bring him back. I mean, yeah. That's true. But maybe the third book, well, I know the third book for sure explores more of that. It's literally called Reaper at the Gates. So we're definitely going to see more of Elias as the soul catcher. But I personally like it because I like Elias. So I'm like, good, he's not dead, but he's dead.
I just like, I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't care about. I don't know, and I feel like maybe that's just me making assumptions about what the end result of all of this is going to be, but I just feel like it's not going to stick. Or maybe it will.
I seems like remember, so I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah. Less of a love triangle and more of a roster.
Look at all those options she's got.
Everywhere she turns. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, something that I did want to mention that like stood out to me is after Laya makes her first kill, she's like going through it mentally and emotionally. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And I feel like that's something skipped over in a lot of books, are when characters that don't kill start killing people, like because they're fighting or training or like whatever, right? Becoming these heroines that we know them to be. And I loved that moment of just realization of how deep deaths like affected her. I thought that was really authentic, really human. I just wish I connected with her. I'm like, what is it? Why don't I care about her enough?
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I feel like it was done really well, and like the emotions that Sabatihiro was able to like portray through her writing, I thought they were really raw, and I really liked. Maybe not liked, but it was a good addition to the story. I feel like all the normal words that I use for like when I'm talking about books don't really apply to this. It was like, oh, it was so fun. Oh, I was loving it. Oh, I really liked the addition of that. Like, wait, but not like that.
Like, it was a good book, but like could not describe it as fun. But it was. Like, I enjoyed reading it. But did I enjoy reading
In a
it?
way, but not quite that way. You guys get it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was discussing Poppy War. I was like, I love this book so much, but like I don't. But I do. Like, it's good writing. But like,
Yeah.
hold on now.
Just calm down.
Anything more to add?
We want to talk about. I'm learning. I need to not read this bookstore, our book club bookstore.
I knew you. That was 2 weeks ago. I was like, you're not going to remember anything when we get to the live stream.
There's no good medium. Like, if I hold off and wait until like the last minute, I'm stressed. But then if I read it early, I don't remember anything about it. Oh, man. OMG, yes, I love when we see people react after traumatic experiences, especially when they seem to be reacting in a normal way and it just seemed like it never happened. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I took the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just reading another comment.
Okay, I was going to say Laia does act so human, like her emotions and what she goes through. And even whenever she kind of mentally checks out when she's traveling with Keenan and kind of lets Keenan like take the reins of leading this mission, it's so authentically human. Like, she's tried so much, she's come so far, and yet people keep dying all around her. She keeps making mistakes. People she loves keep leaving her or dying. And so her just mentally being like, I give up, I'm going to like let someone else lead me, is so realistic, because like the burden finally got to her because she is just this young woman. So seeing her give up, but then kind of wrestle back that control after Keenan betrays her and like coming back from that darkness, it's so authentically human. I don't know why I don't connect with her, but it's done so well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I feel like I need to mention how much I love Tass. I also love Tass, but like, he's such a chipper little guy, but also he's in the worst prison in like this whole world, and it's just so sad as well.
I was stressed. I thought he was gonna die.
I liked what he added to the story, though. It was a bit of like lightness and fun, even though they're in like this awful situation.
Absolutely.
So honestly, I felt more for Tass than I did for most characters in this book, I think.
I think it's just because
his impact.
It's the severity of the situation. You have this young, pure child suffering so much. So it's like, of course you want to like protect him. You're like, no, little Tass. And like, he didn't have a name before. And I'm like, ah. Absolutely. I think that was a character that I did love. And I was like, why do I love him so much? Like, we barely see him.
He's like 5. What's his character development? But I love him.
Oh, the Harper thing. I totally forgot. That was on like one of the last pages. That just, whew, Harper being Elias's brother.
I did not see that coming.
Me either.
I read that. I was like,
I really like Harper though.
I was like, should I have seen this coming? I have no clue. But like, I was blindsided.
I didn't even notice this connection. Lexi said, I'm interested to see what happens to the Harper revelation. I did see the reveal coming as soon as he mentioned his dad to Laia outside of Koth. And we heard Elias's dad mention not much earlier. Good on you. I did not make that connection at all. But yeah, I'm curious to see what will come of that as well. That is another interesting thread that we'll probably follow the next book.
I just want to see more of Elias's backstory and more about his family, aside from just whatever her name is. Karis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the interactions with the tribe, and that the tribes are so fun because I love their characters and how much like honor and stake that they have. Like what is her name? Rilaf? Rifi? Mommy Rifi?
I know. Oh, I don't remember what her name is either, but I know who you're talking about.
Do y'all know who I'm talking about? Hopefully you do. Whenever she's being interrogated by Helene and she's like, you had bread and water at my table. Like, I will not insult you with a lie. I just love that sort of like baseline, their morals. Like, even being interrogated, like, she's still a pure, Rila, thank you, still like a good soul.
Yeah.
And even the other one, my God, I'm so bad with names. Afia, her sticking to her bargain to help guide them to Koth.
Yeah.
And like help all the prisoners escape and everything. I thought that was, I love the tribal, like that culture.
Yeah.
Afia. Oh God. Afia.
I think Afia?
Afia?
I feel like that's how I would pronounce it, but I could also be very wrong.
Yeah. Y'all are coming in clutch with these character names.
Yeah. I just like the
No.
how strictly like honor is upheld in the tribes. So I agree, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even like the small elements of like their cultural things about like the favor token and how much meaning that has and how she had set that up for Elias in book 1 as just like a passing thing. You're like, oh, that was odd. What did it add to this story? And then it ties into the second book. You're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I think Sabahir did the planning.
She did the plan.
Oh, we got a pronunciation guy here. Afia. Listen to the audiobook. I love that.
Honestly, listening to the audiobooks for fantasy books is so helpful. Like, there are just so many names that I'm just like, I don't know how I'd pronounce that if I wasn't listening to this audibly.
Literally. And then when I'm listening to the audiobook, but I'm not looking at the text and I like see how a character's name is spelled, I'm like, okay. Interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
I think one last thing that I want to say.
Do what?
Is...
Oh, sorry.
Wait, what?
Oh, I just didn't hear what you said, and then I heard what you said. It was just a little delayed. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a little bit surprised that they got Darren out of prison so quickly. I was expecting that to be like a longer term thing. Like, I was kind of expecting it to last more than like just the first 2 books. So I was a little bit surprised to see that it happened at the end of this book. But I'm really excited to see where the plot is going to go from here. I just wasn't expecting it to happen so early. But I'm excited to see what he's going to add to the story and what the dynamic was going to be or is going to be moving forward now that he's like an active participant in the plot. But I just thought it was kind of quick.
Really?
Yeah.
I think maybe because so much has been set up outside of, because I feel like the first book was so focused on like getting Darren out of prison. And then the second book made sense that we succeeded because there's like a potential coup happening within the Empire. The Empire is like crumbling. There's like the Scholar Revolution. There's like the Nightbringer, like Jinn situation. So I feel like we've moved on from like the sole focus of like freeing Darren to now freeing Darren, and he's going to be a tool in the Scholar Resistance and like the big picture of the Empire and everything else that's going on. So personally, I think I'm kind of happy that it did happen. And I don't feel like it was very quick. I feel like so much happened like so sporadically with like, okay, here's plan A. Okay, now we've diverted and Elias is now going ahead. Oh no, now Elias is captured. Oh no, now Helene is coming. Now Helene's going to get him out? No, wait, she's not? Okay, now Laya's getting him out? I feel like there were so many threads and it was so chaotic that maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. It's like it kept me on my toes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not necessarily upset that it happened. I was just expecting it to last a little bit longer.
That's fair.
I kind of expected the third book to be the big breakout, and it was gonna be longer, so I was surprised too. Yeah.
Yeah. But alas. I'm excited for like the bigger, I love a good like political situation where it's like the potential coup, revolution in the empire. I love like big picture things like that. So I'm excited to see how she
I think
executes it.
she's done a good job at escalating the series in like a believable way, because in the first book it's very focused on Laya and like her own personal mission, but then like at the end of book 2 we're like, there's so many different things that could possibly happen now, and so many things I never saw coming.
I think they were set up where it wasn't not predictable, too chaotic almost. Like it didn't, I feel like, spring us by surprise. Like there was tension brewing. So when the tension did finally break, it made sense. I'm interested to see Helene and her sister carry out their revenge. I love how her view of the Empire has been more slowly shifting compared to Elias, and I want to see that continues. Absolutely. Yeah. I think her storyline should be extremely fun. And I'm really curious to see how that balance will play out and what their plans are.
I think one thing that I'm really hoping to see more from in this series as it progresses is more fantasy elements. Like I know there have been a decent amount of them, but this feels less fantasy.
Feels secondary.
Than like other series that I've read, because obviously there are little elements of it going on. But I'm hoping it'll be like maybe a more primary focus going forward. But it's kind of like fantasy light almost at this point.
And that is true. I never really thought about that.
I like the couple of elements that we've gotten in it, like Laya's whole turning invisible thing. I was like, that's kind of interesting. Helene's healing, singing thing is interesting. And obviously Elias and his whatever death thing he's got going on.
He's got a little death side gig.
Yeah, his side hustle, whatever. But I just want it to be like a more central part of the story.
Yeah, hopefully it will shift now that we have the setup.
Yeah.
And more supernatural elements were being brought in, just like, even I feel like it wasn't normal originally for all these like supernatural beings to be out and about as much as they are, but it was kind of mentioned that there was like way more like wraiths and things like that. So I think with the Nightbringer more active in the story, hopefully we get to see more of him and more fantastical elements.
Yeah, I think going forward it will hit on those a bit more, but it was definitely like background stuff kind of in the first 2 books.
Yeah. But hopefully it's a good setup and we appreciate the setup.
Yeah, I feel like the setup, if it's all just setup, then like great. Yeah, let's get into it then.
This has been another good discussion. I love
good series to talk about.
This is a really good series to talk about. And of course, y'all are making it so easy to have good discussions as well with your input.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always appreciated.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just us.
Sometimes it's just us in our one brain cell we toss back and forth.
Yeah. But thank you guys for contributing some brain cells to the discussion.
Much appreciated.
Also, thanks to Saba Tahir for writing a good series to talk about.
And thank you to us for picking a good series to talk about. Oh my goodness. Hopefully the rest of the series that we choose will be good. I'm like nervous. We set the bar so high.
I feel like this is a good one. I feel like we already know what the other 2 are. Just gonna tease you guys a little bit, but I feel like they'll probably be pretty good.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we have.
Has closing remarks they'd like to make.
Your final chance.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Until next month. I should have my March schedule. Actually, let me see. I might actually be able to tell y'all when our next live stream will be.
Oh.
Ooh, potentially the 27th again. And by potentially, I mean probably the 27th again. But it's a Wednesday this time.
Oh.
So Wednesday the 27th. Does that work for you, Katie?
I would assume so.
Okay, brilliant. Perfect. Yeah, that last week I worked like every single day except for the 27th. So perfect. I'll announce that probably closer, like we did again with this month.
Yeah.
I think that was decent.
Mark your calendars now, though.
Mark your calendars
You've been
now.
warned.
Be prepared. Katie, wait longer to read the book.
I will do that. You watch. Next month, it'll be the day before, and I'll just be like speeding through a read the dates because I waited too long.
Yesterday, it was like 2 p.m. and I was like, I guess I should start this book.
Well, see, it's good one of us read it recently. As long as we both don't read it early, then it'll be fine.
But I feel like people contributing, when we have brilliant people in the comments.
Brilliant members of
Brilliant members of the book club.
Thank you, guys.
When will we find out what the next series is? We'll announce that next month. That gives people a month to get their hands on the series. Yeah, so we'll announce it end of next month.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a hint right now, though.
In April, and then you have all of April to then get it for May. So 2 months.
I want to give him a hint. Tiny hint. It's a trilogy.
Oh, I was like...
Do with that what you will.
Should we give them... No. That's all they get.
Wait, you don't want to give them another hint?
Nah.
I don't even know what the other hint would be.
No. That's fine. I thought of something. I was like, is that too obvious? Whatever.
You'll have to tell me what that hint is after we end the live. I'm curious.
I will. Thank you all so much for being a part of this discussion. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed our live shows as of lately. I think it helps that we both are enjoying the series. Some of the books we picked are like, I don't want to talk about this book. So it's refreshing to enjoy the series.
That it seems like everybody's liking, even you guys. So that's great.
Alrighty. Well, thank y'all. And we will see you next month.
Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. And thanks for being here.
Thanks, Al.
Bye.
Bye.